Yeah. Okay, na? Thank you, Rakesh. Hi guys, very good afternoon. Sorry for the delay. There was some confusion. They had to stream it YouTube, but they had put it in the student portal, so they changed it. Anyways, so how many of you guys are finished all the bridge courses and this is the last bridge course? Okay. All right. Close my order. So how did you feel? How did you feel about the, are you confident now? I think in the 3 bridge courses that you have attended, most of the relevant faculties would have spoken to you about how to approach answers, how to approach a subject, how to approach a section. Okay. The major difference between GS1 and all the other subjects are, how is it different? Major differences, if you look at the syllabus of GS1, okay, you have ancient medieval art and culture, you have modern India, you have geography, you have society, all right, post-independence and world history. Okay, now, if you take the other subjects, the major thing that you will be studying are issues. For example, if you take economy, you will talk about the issues with respect to inclusive growth, issues with respect to financial inclusion, issues with respect to PPP. Okay. So if you take governance, if you take social justice, if you take international relations, if you take anything, polity itself, you are learning about the issues. So the issues may come in the exam and they may ask you about your perspective or your dimensions or your pros, cons about the issue. Correct? So in 2, 3 and 4, you are mainly concentrating on the issues. The difference what happens in GS1 is descriptive in nature. What do you mean by descriptive is, let us say modern India. There is no issues that you will study in modern India. For modern India, you have to study a book. If you take geography, there is no issues that will come in the paper that you have to learn and that will come in your exams. You have to know geography as a descriptive subject. What I'm trying to tell is ancient medieval, art and culture. If you take any subject in GS1, you cannot attack it issue wise like the other papers. So what happens is, it becomes very vast when you try to study the entire book for mains. Okay, that is why this class will be helpful. Basically, my idea is the entire subject will be converted into question and answer sessions, where if you read all the question and answers of that particular subject, you will be done with that section. For example, geography, we will create a data bank of questions and answers in such a way that we will try to attack every part of the geography subject. Society, we will try to create a question and answer bank, question bank, wherein one obviously will be discussing the previous year question, and also we should be having a technique of how to deal the prospective questions. That is what is going to come in the future also. Overall, the descriptiveness of what the syllabus is in GS1, we are going to convert the descriptiveness into question and answer bank. This is how you simplify GS1. The reason is very simple. This subject is static. Except in society, here and there, they may ask you current affairs based question. For example, last time they had asked, is excessive use of mobile phones replacing cuddling of children? Okay, like that they may ask 1 or 2 contemporary issues within the society. More or less the entire paper is static. Modern India is static, ancient and medieval is static. Geography may seem like it is current affairs based issues, but it is also static. For example, let us say that there was landslides that happened in Wayanad. Okay, but when they ask you the question in geography about landslides, that is static only. There is nothing that is very much different in the concept of landslide that happened only in Wayanad. Landslide as a concept is same wherever it happens, whenever it happens. So whatever concept that you have in geography, though it keeps happening. For example, there can be cyclones in Odisha, but they ask you about the cyclones itself. The cyclone as a concept is static. Though cyclone is there in the current affairs, the concept is becoming static. So what I'm trying to tell is, 1, this paper is static, 2, this paper is descriptive, and 3, there are less issues and more books to study. These are the 3 differences of GS1 paper compared to all the other papers. I hope you are getting the difference. Okay. So in order to simplify this, to study a book, because it is very descriptive, All right, and because it is static, it is very specific. They ask you specific questions here. We are going to make sure that we go section by section and we make sure that we convert whatever descriptiveness is there in the form of questions and answers. Okay, so for example, let us say in geography, we will discuss 60 different questions in different entire syllabus in such a way that there should not be any other scope to ask any other question at all. Whatever you have written in that question bank, the answers within that only should be able to frame answers to whatever questions that they will ask in the future as well. The same goes with society, the same goes with ancient medieval art and culture, the same goes with modern India. I hope you are understanding how we will approach this paper. Okay, this is how you have to approach also. Now this same strategy was used by me from the first year of me starting this intensive bridge course. Okay, the first year that we did the GS-1 bridge course, Mustafa got the rank. Okay, 2020, Mustafa got 162, his rank is. He was the all India topper in GS-1. Okay, he was the student of bridge course itself. So the reason why I am telling you this is, this works. Whatever strategy I am trying to tell you works. So just believe it, practice it, and it will, you will be able to score good marks in this. Okay, the only challenge in GS-1 paper is to bring that GS-1 relevance language. For example, in society, they'll ask about urbanization. They'll ask about regionalism. All right, when they ask about communalism. So when they ask about regionalism, urbanization or communalism, you cannot talk in GS2 language or GS3 language. In geography, they'll ask about industries. They'll ask about resources. When they ask about industries and resources, you cannot go off into GS3 language. You cannot give the economic dimensions of it. You cannot talk about different sectors of the economy. You cannot talk like that. So when they ask you question in GS1, the challenge here is to bring the language of GS1. That is what we will discuss. So two things from the next few days what we are going to spend, two things we are going to make sure that it will happen. One is the entire sections should be covered in the form of questions and answers. The second is practicing that GS1 language in your answer writing. How to bring the GS1 language, how to bring the GS language. So before we start off the answer, I will give you some time to think. I'll give you some time to generate the points. So it should be not a monologue class. Okay, it should be an interactive class where you also bring in the points. And I want you to make mistakes. Only by making mistakes, I can tell you that this line of thought is not GS1. This line of thought is more inclined towards GS2. So this corrections and how we can bring different ways to, I'm purposely not trying to go very specific today because it is live in the YouTube. So we cannot give out a lot of things today. But we will give you a general orientation of how to study GS1 as a subject, even if you join this course also, if you don't join this course also. That is what is today's session all about. Okay, what is GS1, how the questions are coming, and how to actually prepare for this GS1 because the syllabus is very vast. Okay, but two things, you join the program or not join the program, that you should keep in your mind is, first, make sure that you bring in the GS1 relevance language when you're writing the answers, and second, it is a very vast syllabus, so you have to prepare some type of notes. And this course we are going to do the questions in the form of questions and answers, but you either join this or don't join this, prepare some type of notes. Otherwise what happens, in geography there is world geography, there is Indian geography, there is environmental geography, they ask disaster management also. How many books will you read for this? You understanding this? In society also, all right. The syllabus is very vast here. Ancient medieval art and culture. For prelims you read 3 books. So does that mean that for mains also you will read 3 books and go? Is this a viable strategy? No. When they say ancient medieval and art and culture, you should have a set of questions ready. You should prepare on that, go and write the exam. I hope you are getting this. So two things in this paper. One, notes. The second is your language. The way you write the answer matters. You cannot write the same way you write for GS2 or GS3 in GS1. Okay, so these are the two things that are very, very important to keep in mind. Got it? And these are the two things that we'll focus for the next 10 to 12 days. All right, what are the two things? One, your question bank on every section. The second is how to bring about the language in this paper. How to write answers that will be in conformance to the language of GS1 paper. The topics may vary. Okay, urbanization may vary. They can ask you about topics in GS2 or GS3. For example, renewable energy can be asked in paper 3 also, in paper 1 also. How to write it? Coal as a resource, they can ask you in paper 3 also, paper 1 also. How to write it? Okay, that difference in writing in paper 1 is what we will find out by the end of the next 10 to 12 days. Clear with this? Okay, now let us look at the paper. First we will look at the questions. What I want you to do is we'll go from 2023 backwards. I have divided the questions section wise. From 2023 to let us say 2020 or 19, we will go backwards. We will go one by one. We will start seeing the questions one by one. When we are seeing the questions one by one, I want you to read the question. I want you to give me a one-word keyword for that question. For example, after reading the entire question, okay, what is the topic under which this question is coming? All right. So like that, what we are trying to do is from 2023, when we go backwards, we will understand what are the important focus areas where the question keeps appearing in UPSC mains of GS1. Okay. What you will find out is there a list of topic that recurs in GS1? That is the first thing. The second thing is, is there any trend that will help me prepare in a way that will help get more marks in GS1? These are the two things you will understand. Recurring topics and a methodology to prepare. I told you, right? Because see, modern India itself is one big book. By seeing the previous year questions, it will help you to streamline that big book to make sure that you emphasize on those things that are more relevant in that big book. Again, I am not telling that you skip the entire big book. Obviously, you will read the entire big book. But what more to emphasize within that big book is what we are going to do it now. In every section. That is what we will do. Okay. So read the question and in one word, you can tell me what topic that question comes. So by the time we finish the entire geography questions, you will have a list of topics where the questions are coming. If let us say the question is coming on the same topic, put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the next to the topic and go. So that you will understand on urbanization only so many questions have come. On communalism only so many questions have come. So you will get an idea of how many questions are coming on a particular topic. Or is there any recurrence of that particular topic? We'll do this. Okay. We'll go one by one. The first is basically these are the important subjects of GS1. We have geography, society, modern India, ancient medieval culture, art and culture, post-independence and world history. Obviously this everyone knows. So let us go one by one and see the questions. Okay. Let us try and understand, is there any trend? Is there any recurrence? Is there any focus area in geography? Okay. The first is 2023. That is this year's mains paper. That is last year's mains paper. Let us start off. Discuss the consequence of climate change on the food security in tropical countries. Give me one word where you can put this particular question. Which topic can you put this? Climate change? Yes, it is climate change. Please make a note of it. Online guys, I will answer all your doubts once I am done with the entire questions and entire orientation. If my voice is low, please put a message in the in this group so that I'll get it rectified. Today's class, unfortunately, there was some technical issues in the portal, so it is live in the YouTube. So those who have subscribed also have to view it on the YouTube. Unfortunately, I'm sorry for that. From tomorrow's class, it will be available in the portal. Okay. Okay. So let us come to this fourth question. Discuss the consequences of climate change on the food security in tropical countries. The theme is, or the focus area is climate change. Second, why is the world today confronted with the crisis of availability of and access to freshwater resources? Resources can be a broader topic, but I will write down water resources because I know that it will recur, but to an extent resources you have identified well, but water resources. Okay, keep it as water resources. How are fjords formed? Why do they constitute some of the most important picturesque areas of the world? Very good. Landforms. Okay, this comes under the topic called landforms in geomorphology. Okay, the next one. Why is the southwest monsoon called Purvaya in Bhojpur region? How has this directional seasonal wind system influenced the cultural ethos of the region? Climatology, Indian climate. Don't forget. Climatology means world climate, but this is regarding Indian climate. So make a note of that. Indian climate. Okay, next. comment on the resource potential of the long coastline of India and the status of natural hazard preparedness in these areas. Okay, the second part I'll come back later. Forget the second part. Comment on the resource potential of the long coastline of India. Resources, the resources of India. Okay, give the heading as yes. See, resources can come in world geography also. Resources can come in Indian geography also. This is resources in the context of Indian geography. That's what I'm trying to tell. In the future, you will come across questions, resources in the context of world geography. Okay, so broader context is resources in the context of Indian geography, not world geography. Okay. At the end, you will realize what is the necessity of knowing this. Okay. The necessity of knowing this is, I'll just tell you now only. See, comment on the resource potentials of the long coastline of India. Now, comment on the resource potential of long coastline of India. I'll remove the long coastline of India. I'll talk about comment on the resource potential of Himalayas. You should have practiced it. I'll remove Himalayas. I'll talk about comment on the resource potentials of the Peninsular Plateau. You should have practiced it. Comment on the resource potentials of Northeastern Plateau and Plains or Meghalaya Plateau. You should have practiced this. I hope you are understanding. That is why these themes, whatever you are doing, is important. You will understand from this, whatever you take, how to build upon this. I hope you are understanding this. Okay. Let us next see. Identify and discuss the factors responsible for diversity of natural vegetation in India. Assess the significance of wildlife sanctuaries in rainforest regions of India. What is this? Natural vegetation of India. Okay. Be clear with there. Okay. They are asking about natural vegetation of India. No. Just the theme. Okay. The theme. Natural vegetation is the theme. The context is India. Okay. Why did human development fail to keep pace with economic development in India? See, this is the first time they are moving into human geography. The first question that has come in the last 2014 to 2023, human geography was never asked. Okay, this is the first time they are coming into the human geography aspect. However, you can write this, human geography. Okay. From being a net food importer in 1960s, India has emerged as a net food exporter of the world. Provide reasons. What is this? What's that? Green Revolution. Okay. What else? Can I broadly put it as Indian agriculture? Can I put it as Indian agriculture? There is no hard and fast rule. You can put your own, whatever thematics you want, you can put it. I am just telling mine. Okay. Some people can put it Indian agriculture. Some people can tell economic geography. It is all up to you. All right. Let's go to the next one. 2022. Okay. One more thing what you should understand is, see, in geography, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. There are going to be 8 questions that will come in geography. Okay. 4 questions are going to be a 10 marker. 4 questions are going to be a 15 marker. So totally how many marks? 100 marks. Okay, geography itself will fetch you 100 marks. Okay, that is where you have to score marks. You cannot score very high marks in ancient, medieval and art and culture. The part where you have to hit the mark is geography. Okay, anyways, let us go back to this. Discuss the characteristics and types of primary rocks. Types of rocks. Okay, broadly can I say physical geography of the world? Okay, geomorphology of the world. Okay, you can put it as geomorphology. In bracket you can put rocks if you want to, but broadly I see in the previous chapter geomorphology they are asked about landforms. Here they are asking about rocks. So I want you to understand, okay, geomorphology, this is how the questions come. That is my objective. Okay, next. Discuss the meaning of the color coded weather warnings for the cyclone. Again, see, this is climatology, but the thing is, I wanted to tell it then, let me tell you now only, they are mixing disaster management of paper 3 here. Okay, for example, look at this question. Discuss the resource potential of the long coastline of India and the status of natural hazard preparedness in these areas. Okay, now when I talk about natural hazard preparedness, you should talk about disaster management. Okay, now look at this. Again here, discuss the meaning of the color coded weather warnings for cyclone prone areas given by Indian Meteorological Department. You're understanding this? So disaster management, whatever you have studied in paper 3 also is important for paper 1. Okay, so keep that in your mind. Disaster management as a subject that you will revise in paper 3 will be asked in paper 1 also. I'll show you future also how they will ask the questions, or as we go in the other previous year questions, but here and there they keep putting in the disasters. They've asked about landslides also. Okay, examine the landslides of Western Ghats and how is it different from Himalayas. Okay, so disaster management is a theme, just write it there, it is a common theme. Okay, it will always be there. Okay, next, look at this. Discuss the natural resource potentials of Deccan Trap. How can you map to that question? They ask natural resource potentials of coastline, they are asking natural resource potential. Are you understanding this? This is how you have to catch. Okay, let us see more. As we dig deeper, you will start understanding. Examine the potential of wind energy in India and explain the reasons for their limited spread in, explain for their limited spatial spread. What will you put for this? Energy resources. Can you put it as, okay, but it is becoming very specific. It is not, I'm not telling that it is, if you put renewable energy, then you will keep searching. Let us say this is renewable energy. What if they ask coal? If the question is on coal, then again, what will you tell there? Conventional energy? You're unnecessarily creating more divisions, but broadly if you put everything, it comes under energy resources. Write that as energy resources. The point is, how will you build upon this is, I'll remove wind energy. I will tell you, examine the potential of solar energy in India, and because of what are the factors for its limited spatial spread. You should be prepared on that. I'll remove the renewable energy itself. I'll tell you, examine the potential of coal in India. That's all. You should know the answer. Are you understanding this? Examine the potential of geothermal energy in India. So you should be prepared in depth of how the questions can come on this. You got the exercise? All right, next. What are the forces that influence ocean currents? Describe their role in fishing industry of the world. Okay, obviously oceanography, ocean currents. Oceanography is the topic, I'm sorry, chapter. Ocean currents is the topic. It is part of this only. In ocean currents only you study this. Okay, how they influence fishing industry. No, that has nothing to do with human geography. Okay, world climatic types. For example, if you take every climate, there how human activities is influenced. It talks about that. On that basis, this is. Okay, every geographical phenomena will have an influence on the human activities, right? So that part this is. This is not human geography purely. Next, describe the distribution of rubber producing countries. Indicate the major environmental issues faced by them. Where will you put this? No. Where will you put this? Can I tell economic geography? Yes, rubber producing countries, but broadly can I say economic geography? Alright, when I say economic geography, in bracket you can put agriculture. Okay, economic geography, agriculture. Now, how to build upon this? See, describe the distribution of, I'll remove rubber, I'll add coffee. You should be able to tell. Describe the distribution of coffee producing countries, indicate the major environmental faced by them. We should be able to answer them. Let us say I will remove coffee. I'll tell, describe the distribution of tea. I'll remove tea. I'll tell, describe the distribution of plantation agricultures. I hope you are this is how you have to build on that. Okay, because otherwise you will not, preparing for geography, there is no one book. Like, I cannot tell that you read this book, you will be done with the subject. It is all about you take something and keep building more deeper on that. Rather than saying deeper, different dimensions. If they're asking about wind energy, you make sure that other dimensions are also covered. Solar, biomass, geothermal, wind energy, like that. If they ask about energy resources, cover all types of energy resources. If they're asking about any industry, one industry, cover different types of industries. That is how geography has to be approached here. Then what happens? For example, let us say there is a question that talks about examine the distribution of, I'll take this question only. See, describe the distribution of rubber producing countries. Now next, how are you going to prepare for this? Are you going to create an exhaustive list of all the crops and then exhaustive list of all the countries of that? Is that how you are going to prepare? No, correct? Exactly. That is not how you should prepare. Basically, you should understand that a set of crops will always be grown in a set of countries. For example, equatorial countries, what crops are grown? Monsoon countries, what crops are grown? Savanna countries, what crops are grown? European countries, what crops are grown? That's all done. Whatever crops they ask, you just have to match. That crop is grown in which part of the world? If you can match it is grown in which part of the world, you can answer the entire question. I hope you are understanding this. Okay. Anyways, mention the significance of straits and isthmus in international trade. Try. I mean, it's okay if you are wrong also in whatever it is. There is nothing called wrong in the first place. What you feel that this particular question can come under? Huh? Mapping. Okay. In means mapping as such is not a theme, but anyways, it's a fair try. Yes. Huh? Landforms. Fair enough. What else? Economic geography in bracket international trade. Or trade. Just put as trade. Okay. Economic geography, trade. Okay. The reason is, see, mention the significance of straits and isthmus in international trade. Forget the straits and isthmus. You told landform. Forget straits and isthmus. I'll say, mention the significance of ports and harbors in international trade. You should know how to answer. Okay. Or let me remove that ports and harbors. I'll say, mention the significance of, which one? All right. You can, yeah, that can also be the answer. Mention the significance of South China Sea in international trade. That can also be a question. Okay. You should be able to answer. The point here is, this is not the focus. The focus is not here. Where is the focus? This is the focus. Let them change the variable how much ever they want. If you are prepared, what is the significance of international trade? Let them add anything they want. You should be able to answer this. I hope you understand that. So here the theme is international trade, economic geography. All right. So in economic geography, three things you have already got. Economic geography, agriculture. Economic geography, energy resources. Economic geography, international trade. I hope you are understanding this. So that is how you should develop some type of sanity in how you prepare. Okay. Now let us go to the next one. I will tell you how to make notes, sir. For students who are here, don't worry about how to make notes. But my agenda here is for those people who are watching in the YouTube also, who don't want to join the course also. It should help them. That is my agenda. Obviously, I am here to give you an exhaustive way how to create notes. Don't worry about that. But one thing what you also should realize, though you are joining the program, is how to approach this subject. Okay. Why are we doing that notes? Why are we doing that questions in that way only? Are you understanding this? Why is sir discussing different types of significance of different variables on international trade? Are you understanding this? So that you understand why we are doing this. Don't worry about the notes part. We will obviously deal with that later. More exhaustively only. Next, troposphere is a very significant atmospheric layer that determines weather processes. How? What is this? Yes. Loudly. Okay. It is okay if you are wrong. Climatology is correct. Here it is in the previous paper, climatology, Indian climate. This is climatology, the world. Okay, this is about the world. Finally, once we are done with all the questions, you should give me the list of themes. I hope you will be ready. Okay, all right. Next. 21 we will go. So we have finished 8 questions here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, again 100 marks. All right. Every year from 14 it has been the same trend, 100 marks geography. It will not miss. Okay. Next. Differentiate the causes of landslide in the Himalayan region and Western Ghats. See. Disaster management. Okay. Whatever you have studied in disaster management, it becomes important. But how to change this question we will discuss later. Okay. Let's not go there. But disaster management. Okay. Is the theme here. All right. Next. Despite India being one of the countries of the Gondwana land, its mining industry contributes much less to its GDP in percentage. Discuss. Economic geography. First decide, is it India or world? Is it Indian geography or world geography? First decide that. Indian geography. Okay. Inside Indian geography, what will it come under? Read the question. Read the question. Don't be fixated over one keyword. Okay. Before we do that exercise, read the question again. Tell me in simple way what the question actually is. I want in a very, very simple layman manner what this question is actually asking you. Okay. Read the question again. Tell me in a very, very simple way, what is the demand of the question? Huh? Importance of Gondwana land. Okay. Oh, no, my question is, tell me in a very, very simple terms, what is the question? Okay, yeah. Yes, you're correct, but give me a question, simple way. What is the question? Forget all this thing. You frame your own question and tell me simply what that demand is. Tell me one question. Can I, okay, I'll only tell you, see, can I tell whatever this thing is, I will simplify this and tell, India is rich in resources, but why is it contributing less in its mining GDP? Is it not the same question? India is rich in resources. Why is India rich in resources? Because India is part of Gondwana land. So the question is telling India is rich in resources, but even though it is rich in resources, why is its contribution so low? That's all. Why you are getting fixated is they have used this word called. Are you understanding this? That word has nothing to do. They just want to signify that India, despite being part of the one of the countries of Gondwana land, that means what? If it is part of Gondwana land, it is very rich in resources. But even then, why is it that its contribution is less to GDP? I mean, answer is different. I am not worried about the answer. I am worried about your interpretation of the question. That's all they are asking. So now tell me the theme. Indian geography, where does it come? Resources. You got this? Indian geography, resources. Okay, this is a broad term, resources. All right, they can ask about mineral resources. You can put in bracket mineral resources also. Last time they had asked about solar energy. You have put it as energy resources. You put this as mineral resources. Okay, broadly it comes under resources. Next, what are the environmental implications of the reclamation of the water bodies into urban land use? Explain with examples. What is this? Environmental implications of the reclamation of the water bodies into urban land use. Explain with examples. Urbanization. Tell me the focus of this question. Urbanization. Okay. Urban. One of the implications of that is urban flooding, definitely. Yes, what else? The theme is water resources. Okay. Yes, within that theme they are talking about the reclamation, but the theme is water resources. I will tell you the repetition. All right, it keeps recurring. Let us see. Next. Mention the global occurrences of volcanic eruptions in 2021 and their impact on the regional environment. Okay, what is this? Where will this come? In geography, where will you study volcanic eruptions? Very good, geomorphology. Okay, the world geomorphology. Okay, but you can also add it in disaster management. All right, but anyways, world geomorphology is also the topic. You learn earthquakes, landslides, as well as volcanic eruptions. Here they are talking more about the disaster rather than the management, so we'll put it in geomorphology. Okay, let's go to the next one. Why is India considered as a subcontinent? Indian geography. Okay, Indian physical geography. Indian physical geography. Okay, next. We discussed about the 4 questions here. We'll discuss. See, the 0.5 questions are here is because this you have, it is a multi-dimensional question. Why India is considered as a subcontinent? You have to bring societal question also. You have to bring geographical factors also. You have to bring historical factors also, and cultural factors also. So this question is all-encompassing question. Okay, you cannot only attack this by just geographical factors. You have to talk about the entire syllabus of GS1. You will always find. See, that is one more thing. You will always find a few questions. How to bring more GS1 into that particular answer is talk about the entire syllabus only there. Okay, cultural factors, ancient factors, geographical factors, social factors, if you bring, it will become the entire answer. But anyways, overall, we'll put it in geography, but we'll discuss it later. All right, next, look at this. Briefly mention the alignment of major mountain ranges of the world and explain their impact on local weather conditions with examples. Where will you put this? Huh? No, of the world, mountain ranges of the world. Read the question properly. Okay, you should always read the question properly. The first level you should understand is, will it fall in world geography or Indian geography? The next thing is, okay, within the world geography or Indian geography, where will it fall? Where will this fall? Geomorphology, very true. Okay, talk about geomorphology. Yeah, obviously they have asked about how the local climate is influenced, but that's just a sub part. You can definitely answer. Okay, but overall the mountain ranges you have to talk in the geomorphology language. Okay, next is, how do the melting of the Arctic ice and the glaciers of the Antarctic differently affect the weather patterns and human activities of the earth? Explain. Very good. What is the theme? Climate change. Okay, the theme is climate change. Next, discuss the multidimensional implications of uneven distribution of mineral oil in the world. World or India? What resources are they talking here? Oil, energy resources. Okay, world energy resources. Okay, next. What are the main socio-economic implications arising out of the development of industries in major cities of India? Yes, economic geography of India, economic geography within that? Industries. Okay, yes, economic geography of India only. More specifically, it is to deal with industries. So you saw resources, now you are seeing industries. Okay, I will change the question. See, you should be able to answer. Examine the socio-economic implications of development of industries in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Are you understanding? That is how you have to build upon this. Okay, let us say that I'll remove the major cities of India. I'll say that there is a rising industries in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. What are the socio-economic implications? So geographically, you should be able to answer. If you feel that there is a book which will tell me this, there is no book. It is how you develop the dimensions. Are you understanding this? So that is what we'll be doing. All right, but how to develop dimensions is what I am trying to tell you. Okay. Anyways, let's go to the next one. 2020. Discuss the geophysical characteristics of circum-Pacific zone. What is this? Yeah, world geography in that? Geomorphology. Very good. Ring of fire. They're talking about the ring of fire. Okay, geomorphology, world geomorphology. Next, the process of desertification does not have climatic boundaries. Justify with example. World geography, everyone is clear? Within that where? Very good, climatology. Okay, why are you worried? Okay, world geography, climatology. Clear? Next. How will the melting of Himalayan glaciers have a far-reaching impact on the water resources of India? What is this? Both the themes are there. One, there is climate change also. Another is water resources. Okay, but put it in water resources. Water resources is more recurring compared to climate change. Put it in water resources. Next. Account for the present location of iron and steel industries away from the source of raw materials by giving examples. Okay, fine. Industries, yes, iron and steel industries they are talking, so industries, all right. World or India? They have not specified. That is what is important. Very good. They have not specified, so it is up to you. If you have more points about the world, write about the world geography. If you have more points about India, write about Indian geography. This is your discretion. I hope you are understanding. Okay. So here, for me, I would have written this from Indian perspective. Yes. Yes, that is also there. Definitely you can. 100%. If you have the points, For example, this is happening both in USA and Japan. We can talk about that also. In India also, it is happening near South India, where Salem steel plant, or if you talk about Vizag steel plant, okay, you can talk about this. So if you have both the perspective, you talk, or if you don't have both the perspective, which point you have more, talk on that only. But don't do this. If you don't have world geography points, don't try to make up points there to show that you know that. That is dangerous. If you know only Indian geography, then write the entire answer as Indian geography only, because they are not specified. So they will not cut marks. But you only don't assume that they have not asked, so I have to bring both. So let me try to bring both. One you will bring nicely, one it is not correct. You are unnecessarily losing marks. So don't do this. Clear with this? So keep this in your mind. When they have not specified, it's your discretion. Either you talk about both or you talk only one. Okay? But it is not compulsory. It is discretionary. Again, remember, there is no compulsion. It is completely discretionary. Okay? Alright. The next is, the interlinking of rivers can provide viable solutions to the multidimensional interrelated problems of droughts, floods, and uninterrupted navigation critically examined. Where will you put this? Water resources. Okay, next. Where did you put this? Economic geography. Okay, put it as economic geography. Industries. Okay, economic geography, industries. You can put anything, India or the world. It's up to you. Because either ways you should know. Okay, industries or the, India or the world. Next. Account for the huge flooding of million cities in India, including the smart ones like Hyderabad and Pune, suggest lasting remedial measures. What is this? Disasters. Yes, very good. Disaster management. I hope now you are getting the idea. Okay. Next. India has immense potential. Look at this. India has immense potential of solar energy, though there is regional variations in its development. Elaborate. Where is this? Which resources? Energy resources. Where? India. Very good. Remember they had asked wind energy. Look, they are asking. If you go still back in time, they have asked coal also. Like that, they'll keep changing it. But overall, you should be prepared on different variables here. Okay. Examine the status of natural resources of India and its result on climate change. What is this? Natural vegetation. Forest means natural vegetation. You have already written that theme. Natural vegetation. Okay, no, that is not as important. We are done up to from 2023. We have gone 4 years back. We have seen the questions. Now let us make a list. Okay, now let us make a list. Okay, you people should tell me all the names. I'll just segregate it as world geography this side, Indian geography this side. Okay, tell me. Here, climate change. Okay. Okay. Water resources, where? Indian geography. You are clear? I don't know. I'm only going to follow what you are going to tell. Water resources in Indian geography. All right. Okay, next. Geomorphology. All right. In geomorphology, tell me all the subparts so that we can add it here only. Landforms. Sorry, 1 second. Landforms. What? Droughts. Rocks. Rocks. Yes. Rocks. What else? Okay. Volcanoes. Very good. Mountain ranges. Yes, the circum-Pacific zone. So basically, what you understood here is there is no recurring theme here. You have to know the full geomorphology properly. I hope you understand that. Geomorphology should be known thoroughly. You cannot, and there was, there is no recurring themes. Okay. Anyways, but we are understanding this. The next one. Sorry. Vegetation where? All right. Okay. Climatology is here. Okay. Okay. Fourth is oceanography. What else? Where? India or both the places it's there, I think. Correct? You can tell if there is both the places, you can tell both the places. I'll write there only. Okay, don't worry. Economic geography. Economic geography. Okay. Are there any subparts here that you want to tell? All right. Trade is where here, right? Trade, agriculture, resources, industries. Okay. Here also you can tell industries, resources, energy. What else have I missed? Anything? Agriculture. They had asked about how India became a net importer to net exporter, green revolution. So that is part here only. What else? No, have I missed anything in economic geography, or have we covered everything? Resources. Okay, that comes in resource only. Yes. Resource potential means what is the resources there? In different way they are asking, that's all. Alright, what else? Oceanography I have written. Indian climate, very good, very good. Okay, that is an important aspect. Indian climate. What else? It has come for the first time, so there is no recurring theme there. You should have it in your mind that it has come for the first time. Okay, recurring theme, there is nothing like that. What else? Of India. Okay. Fifth one. Okay. This mainly is connected to this only, but anyways. Overall, yes, that is very important. Sixth one is disaster management. Okay, very good. That is very important. Yes. What else? Which one? All are done? All are done? That's all. Water, I have put it here, no? Water resources. Interlinking of river they have asked. Droughts, floods they have asked. Okay. Which one? Human geography. This time, first time they have asked. Recurrence is not happening. Okay. Yes, we have to prepare. I'm not telling no. There is no thematic version of it. Once they have asked, this time for the first time. Okay. This only, no? World? No, under world geography only all these topics are there. Okay. This is all world geography. That is all Indian geography. Okay. So, you have to talk about climate change, geomorphology, climatology, oceanography and economic geography in world. After that, you have to go to the Indian geography part. Here we have to discuss about the water resources, vegetation, economic geography, Indian climate, physical geography of India. Okay. So overall, for people who are watching this video in the YouTube, how to study geography from mains perspective, this is how. Okay. Take everything. Prepare one page notes. For example, in geomorphology, first list out all the topics. From rocks, interior of the earth, geomorphic processes, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, mass movements, then there is weathering, landforms, theories, plate tectonics, seafloor spreading. So you create first a list of topics, do one page notes on every topic. Go to climatology. Since climatology is also a theme, go to climatology. Troposphere they have asked. Troposphere comes in Indian atmosphere. So Indian atmosphere is a theme. So prepare notes on that. Air currents, then there is cyclones, then there is types of condensation, types of precipitation. Like that, take all the topics, prepare one page notes. Go to oceanography, the same strategy, everything the same thing. That is what we will also be doing in the class. That is what I am telling those people also to do. How to create a geography notes is, this is your geography notes. Whatever you have written here, prepare notes on that. Okay. Now, don't try to prepare notes on only this. They will not repeat the question here. Again, they are not, once if they have asked this, they are not going to ask again. Okay. But they are definitely going to ask here. I hope you are understanding this. Okay, so this is how you create notes for geography. I hope you understood this. This is what we'll also be doing. But what we will be doing is we'll be doing it in question and answer format. Okay, so I will prepare a question. We will discuss how to go about it, and then we'll write answer for it. We'll go to the next one. I'll prepare a question. We'll discuss answer for it. We'll go to the next one. So like that, when we discuss, we will get an idea of how to approach questions. Okay, so this is how it is, guys. Okay, let me take the questions online, guys, if they have any. Mining industry in India is underdeveloped as compared to its counterparts. That is a very simple way of putting it. Yes, yes, that is true. Sir, the course starts with geography. I will start with society. Okay. The only reason is completely prejudiced decision. I am bored of teaching geography. Okay. So I want to start off with society because that is more interesting for me. So I'll finish society and then come back to geography. Right. Okay, fine. Is this clear? Okay, this is what we'll be discussing. So again, two things. One, it is not just important that I give notes, you write and go back home and just by heart it. It is, if we have discussed one dimension, if I remove that variable and ask you in a different way, you should be able to answer. For example, let us say that if we have discussed on the importance or significance of isthmus and straits in international trade, you should be able to generate points if I remove that isthmus and trade and add any variable. That is what we will be discussing, and that is what is important for this class. Okay, so that discussion is where you will develop the lines of thought. I hope you are clear. Is geography clear for you? 100 marks. Okay, out of 100 marks, you can easily score 50% of the marks here. 50 to 60%, 60 out of 100 is easy here. Okay, the point I'm trying to make is, see, if there is 250 marks paper, on an average, every topper will score 120. Okay, 120 out of 250 is very, very good score. Sometimes what happened in 2023, in GS1, this is very good score. This year, if you have scored 95 this year, it's very, very good score in GS1. Okay, but in 2020 or 2021, there are people who have scored this much also. So every year it varies. So you cannot take on the face value what is the score. But overall, just on an average, I'm just giving you, getting 120 in every GS paper should be your aim. Okay. Now, in GS1, if you want to score 120, all right, this 120, out of this 50% of the marks, that is 60 marks, should come from geography. 60 should come from geography only, because the other sections of GS1 does not have as much certainty as geography. In geography, if you can work hard, let us say you have practiced 500 questions in geography, 60 is very, very easy. 60 to 80 is very easy in geography if you have practiced almost 400 to 500 questions, because they cannot ask anything outside that. And you would have developed that competency, let them ask anything, I'll be able to write it. That level of proficiency can be brought only in this subject and this subject alone. Because in ancient, medieval, art and culture and modern India, even if you practice 400 questions, there is no certainty. You have studied something, they are asking you examine the philosophical comparison between Subhash Chandra Bose and Gandhiji. Understanding this, at that point, what all points come, how you are going to write will decide your marks there. Geography is not like that. Your practice means there is certainty that you will get good marks. So the point I'm trying to make is 60% of whatever score that you want to aim for within the mains paper, that you should get within the subject called geography. Hence, geography is very, very critical. Okay, and 60 out of 100 is easy in geography. 100 marks comes, out of that you have to get 60. It is just 60%. This is very, very easy. Okay, it is not that difficult. So this is what we'll be aiming for. This is your priority one subject. Any student who says that I am not good in geography can never get good marks in GS1. I am being very, very frank and truth. You cannot tell I am not that good in geography and you cannot get good marks at all. Because this is the easiest part. You cannot tell I am very strong in ancient, medieval, art and culture, modern India, I am getting good marks. That can never happen. Society problem, what happens is, why society is not that scoreable is because the questions are open-ended. whatever answer that you write should be in conformance with that examiner who's correcting the paper. So that level of subjectivity lies in that paper, so you are not sure of the answers. And most of the society questions are opinionated. They're asking your opinions. So how will your opinion match to what extent to that person who's correcting the paper? That is also a factor that plays a role. You understanding this? The point I'm trying to make is the certainty level in society questions are not that high. And there is nothing called, I've written a beautiful answer in society. There's nothing like that. Two people can write completely different answers in society and get good marks also. The subjectivity is so high there that this person can write completely different divergent view, that she can write completely different divergent view, both can get good marks. Because the subjectivity is so high there. If that is the case, both can write different type of answer and get less marks also. Alright, so what I'm trying to tell is, since the subjectivity is high in society, and since the way the answers are asked in ancient, medieval and modern India, in both the cases to get good marks is very difficult. You can definitely get average marks, I'm not telling you cannot. But to expect that you're going to get 60-70% in ancient, medieval, art and culture and get less marks in geography is a wrong strategy. The strategy should always be, I'm going to get the best marks in geography and I'm going to do good in other subjects. I hope you're understanding this. So this is about the geography aspects. Okay. Any doubts in geography before we go into society? No doubts? You understood how we are going to go about it? Okay. Integrated bridge course class notes are enough for mains. I hope so. Obviously, I cannot say no. I am the one who's teaching. Okay. But you see, it all depends upon, once the notes is done, you are revising the notes, you are going to go to the previous year questions, you are going to attempt the questions. One. Second, obviously they are not going to repeat the same question. So you change the variables and attempt. Resource potential of coastline of India they are asking, change the variable of coastline of India. If they are talking about examine the industries of textiles, change the textile and add one more industry, see if you can answer. You should be able to, test it out. Is the notes that we have given enough or not? Obviously, if you ask us, we'll tell yes only. Okay, but how are you going to test it out is, go to the previous year questions, change the variables. Okay, if you can change the variables and still answer the question, that means that is enough. And that is all. See, the content asked in the mains can change, 100%. Content will never repeat, but the intent will always be the same. Okay, what do you mean by intent is, that person wants to ask one question on resource, it will be one question on resource. That person wants to ask one question on geomorphology, one question will come on geomorphology. That person wants to ask one question on climate change, it will come on climate change. But how will it come on climate change is not in our control. So, whichever way let that person ask on climate change, I'll be able to answer. This should be your way of answering. I hope you're understanding what I am trying to tell you. Okay, so stop worrying about the content. If you understand the intent, now practice the content. You understood water resources? Water resources is something intent. That person wants to ask on water resources. That is the intent. But how is the question going to come? Practice. Interlinking of water is 1. Agricultural wastage is 2. Droughts is 3. Alright, water usage efficiency is 4. I hope you're understanding this. Like that, if you can take different dimensions and practice, that is the content part. I hope you're getting this. So this is how geography works. Okay, so this is about geography. Let us move to the next one. Clear with no doubts in geography? You understood this? 100 marks, guys. 60 should come from this. Clearly. Alright, let us move to the society part. I have put this basically. Physical geography means the geomorphology, climatology and oceanography. Economic and resource geography. Okay, both India and the world. Then you have environmental geography. Obviously, that landslides and all, you can mark it there also. That is what I have taken. Interlinking of rivers, I have put it here. It is fine. Disasters plus climate change and water resources. Okay, this is broadly what I have just created. Okay, all right. Let us move to the society part. Okay, 2023 society. 6 questions. Okay, society will always have 6 questions, 3 10 markers and 3 15 markers. So that is 30 plus 45, 75 marks. Okay. See, out of 250, 175 marks is only in these two sections. Okay, people are breaking it somewhere else. 175 marks is here, and out of 175, if you can get 105 in these two sections, you are done with the preparation. So before you jump into ancient medieval art and culture and dig your head, if you have practiced 400 questions in geography, 400 questions in society, you are done with the paper itself. That is the approach. Okay, and it is possible. Okay, anyways, coming back to society, here your lines of thought is very important. Okay, the questions are very opinionated to see, are you biased, are you objective, are you matured, do you have an understanding about the Indian society? Here the marks, some people will come and tell, sir, GS1 I had written very well, sir, but my marks went very low, because they would have given very superficial understanding of society, and they would have given errors of judgment that is happening in the society. What do you mean by errors of judgment? Their prejudice or bias that they have within themselves would have reflected there. If it reflects, it's gone. It is gone. You cannot show the bias or prejudices of whatever you have or your experiences are. You cannot express that here. The moment that comes up here, the marks is gone. You should be very careful in the way you put forth your point of view. I'll show you the questions, how they'll ask. They'll purposely put Indian society in the bad light and ask. Customs and traditions, obscurantism, it will remove rationalism, caste can never be eradicated in India. That is how they will ask. But if you also start telling, yes, it cannot be removed, Indian society will never improve, it will always be there, it's gone. You will lose it. Okay? Or let us say they are asking about globalization is eroding the cultural norms of India. If you tell yes, it is, where is the culture? It is gone again. So you should always have a very matured line of thought. See, Indian society has been there from thousands of years. Suddenly a new force cannot come and erode it like that. So that maturity and that understanding is what they are seeing here. So what I am trying to tell is here, content and your line of thought and maturity is important. Okay. So tomorrow the first class will be discussing about the lines of thought itself. The entire 3 hours will be discussing about the different lines of thought. Okay. How your answers should be, what your prejudices are, and how to remove that prejudice and answer in a very objective manner. Whenever they ask opinions, how to express that opinions without trying to show any type of inclinations. Okay, so that is what we'll be discussing tomorrow. But overall, society content is not the only thing that matters. The depth of understanding about the society, maturity of the society. We should talk about the maturity. When they talk about marriage has lost its sanctity, if you tell yes, it has lost its sanctity, just because 1 or 2 cases you read, you understood and assumed that yes, marriage is going for a toss. Okay, that means you have not understood the entire essence of Indian society. If you are telling like that, that person sitting there knows that the fundamental unit of Indian society is family, and the fundamental unit of family is marriage. Yes or no? So when you are telling marriage has lost its sanctity, you do not have the understanding of Indian society at all. That is what that person will start thinking. Are you understanding this? So whatever factor that you take within Indian society, it is very important for you to understand that factor and its role in the Indian society. It can be caste, it can be marriage, it can be a family, whatever value system it is, the social, the rituals, the norms that we do, rights and customs, everything you should understand the role of that within the Indian society. So when you understand the role, you will not take the superficial value. Okay, so that's what we will discuss tomorrow. Anyways, we'll go one by one and discuss 2023, 6 questions, 75 marks. Let us see now. Okay, again, one-liners. You try to guess. It's okay if you are wrong. I'll anyway correct it and tell you the theme, but try to guess in a one-liner where it comes under. Obviously, you people are exposed to the syllabus of GS1, so just guess wherever it can come. Okay, first, do you think marriage as a sacrament is losing its value in modern India? Which part can it come under? Social institutions? Okay, anyways, there is the syllabus point called salient features of Indian society. Okay, yes, this is the where. Salient features. Salient features. Okay, marriage is one such salient feature. All right, second one. Explain why suicide among young women is increasing in Indian society. Very good. You can talk women associated issues. Okay. My take is, all right, that is also fine. I'm not telling, there is nothing hard and fast rule. You can create your own this thing. My take is, it is a contemporary social issue. That is something that is happening in present day's time. So you can talk about that. That is also a theme. Okay, present day social issues, what is happening. Contemporary social issue. Okay, you can talk about that also. Let's go to the next one. Child cuddling is now being replaced by mobile phones. Discuss its impact on the socialization of children. What is this? Tell me the focus here. What is the focus? You are correct. Okay. Institutions of socialization. Is this the focus? Technology is the focus. Okay, here the focus is what is doing wrong by the technology. You understanding this? So where will this come? Contemporary issues of social issues. For example, I'll ask you one more question, see, which can come this year. Examine the role of artificial intelligence within Indian family. Okay, or examine the role of artificial intelligence on the employee-employer relationship. You are understanding this? See, again, it can come. Artificial intelligence, how it is changing the Indian society can come. Okay, so contemporary issues will definitely be asked. But when they ask that, here if you are writing GS-3 language, okay, you are not going to get marks. You have to talk in societal languages only. We will discuss that tomorrow. Don't worry. All right, next. Does urbanization lead to more segregation and marginalization of the poor in India metropolises? Urbanization. Okay, it's very straightforward. Urbanization. Why is caste identity in India fluid? Why is caste identity in India both fluid and static? Salient features only, but one, this is a dominant one, caste. Okay, you can say casteism or caste. That itself is a theme. Every year one question comes. Okay, 100% it will be. Discuss the impact of post-liberal economy and ethnic identity and, discuss the impact of post-liberal economy on ethnic identity and communalism. Where will it come? Globalization? Yes? Right. Globalization. Communalism is also a topic there. Okay, but since they are asking both ethnic identity and communalism, it is okay. Okay, you can add it in globalization, not an issue. Okay. 2023 is done. Let's go to the 2022. Now let's look at this. Explore and evaluate the impact of work from home on family relationship. Very good. Now you understood contemporary social issues. Next. How is the growth of tier 2 cities related to the rise of new middle class with an emphasis on the culture of consumption? Very good. Urbanization. Okay. Next. Given the diversities among the tribal communities in India, in which specific context should they be considered as a single category? Tribes. Okay. Tribes is one part you should understand. You should have notes made. Tribes. Okay. Next. Analyze the salience of sect in Indian society with regards to caste, region and religion. What is this? Salient features of Indian society. Very good. Salient features of Indian society. What it means is, in anything you go in Indian society, you will have sections. Anything you go, region, sections, religion, sections, caste, sections. That itself is a salient feature of Indian society. What is this? We will discuss later, but salient features. All right. Next. Are tolerance, assimilation and pluralism the key elements in the making of an Indian form of secularism? Justify your answer. Secularism. Okay. Secularism. That is a syllabus topic. Secularism. Elucidate the relationship between globalization and new technology in a world of scarce resources with special reference to India. Globalization. Okay. that question comes on globalization. So 2 years you saw. Can you see any recurrence there? Are you seeing this? Okay. So if you can see the recurrence, it is not only about creating one model answer and stopping it there. Okay. It is building depth on that. Okay. So from urbanization, tier 2 cities, what is happening? Okay. In urbanization, what are different social issues that are happening? So once you are going on building depth on that, you will develop that line of thought. I hope you are getting this. Let us move to the next one. 2021. Okay, 2021. Examine the uniqueness of tribal knowledge systems when compared with the mainstream knowledge and cultural systems. Next, examine the role of gig economy in the process of empowerment of women in India. Very good. You can put women also, you can add. I am not telling no. You can add it to women also, but I will add it in. This is the focus for me. Okay, because gig started then, they are asking that contemporary social issues. All right. Next, discuss the main objectives of population education and point out the measures to achieve them in India in detail. Population. There is a syllabus. Sorry? No. Social? This one is it? Social empowerment. One of the objectives is definitely that, but where are they getting this question is because from population. In the syllabus, there is a term called population. Population related issues, right? From there, they are getting it. Okay, that's what I meant. What is cryptocurrency? How does it affect global society? Has it been affecting Indian society also? Technology, but where will you put this? Contemporary social issues. We'll put it in contemporary social issues. Okay, next. How does Indian society maintain continuity in tradition? How does Indian society maintain continuity in traditional social values? Enumerate the changes taking place in it. Salient features of Indian society. Traditions, customs, rituals, all these things are part of salient features of Indian society. Okay, let us move to the next one. 2020. Okay. As caste lost its relevance in understanding the multicultural Indian society, elaborate your answer with illustrations. Caste system or casteism. COVID-19 pandemic accelerated class inequalities and poverty in India. Comment. That's all. Contemporary social issues. This time there are several issues that may come. Okay. One is the same-sex marriage. Okay. That can come from social angle, not the political or the constitutional angle. Social angle can come. Live-in relationships have not yet come. That can come. Stray dog menace that is happening in all the urban areas. Yesterday there was a Supreme Court judgment. But again, not from constitutional angle. They can ask from social angle. Okay. Stray dog menace, because the municipal corporations have gone on telling that we have to kill the dogs. The Supreme Court has told otherwise. So they can ask you from societal angle. Okay. So like that, the point I'm trying to tell is you should always be aware of your social issues that are happening. Around you only it will be happening. Gig economy, you wouldn't have heard. Everyone would have heard. Work from home, you would have heard. So all these things you have heard. Alright. But the point is no one would have known that this can easily come in the exam only. Okay. So they'll ask you contemporary social issues that are happening around you only, they'll come. It will definitely come. Okay. Anyways, next. Do you agree that regionalism in India appears to be a consequence of rising cultural assertiveness? Argue. Very good. Regionalism. That's a topic. Okay, next. Is diversity and pluralism in India under threat due to globalization? Justify your answer. Globalization. Very good. See, here only I will show why society is very dangerous is, look, is diversity and pluralism in India under threat? Justify. So, it doesn't mean that you have to substantiate, you have to justify. You stand yes, justify, you stand no, justify. One, second, do you agree that regionalism in India appears to be a consequence of rising culture? Again, whether you agree or not should be very clear. They are asking explicitly. This is where it changes. See, COVID pandemic accelerated class inequalities and poverty in India. Comment. So again, you have to take a stand there. Comment means you have to write an opinion of yours. All right. So see, that is why society is very dangerous. The way you have to it is very opinionated, and your opinions will matter there. So let us assume that you have written beautiful marks, but your opinion is an error of judgment in the Indian society. It will go. Everything will go. You being a very good person, nothing matters. You will lose marks. So the opinions that you will take, okay, will it match the Indian social values? Will it match the constitutional morality? All these things should be considered. Okay, and is it a matured individual who will take that call there? So that is why social questions are a little sensitive. Got it? Anyways, we'll discuss that as we proceed with the next few tests. So again, see, customs and traditions suppress reason leading to obscurantism. Are you understanding this? They are asking your opinion. So if you feel that there is one model answer there, or there is some society syllabus that I will read, I will go and write that. It is your opinion. So when it comes to your opinions, if yes, there is no proper answer here. If yes also, you should be able to justify in such a matured way. That person should be compelled to give you marks. No also, you should be able to, tell it in such a matured way. That person should be compelled to give you marks. But your opinions should be matured. That is what I am trying to tell you. Yes or no doesn't matter. Okay, but the way you are going to justify should reflect your personality and maturity. That matters for society questions. Okay, so one very, very dangerous part of society is it is highly opinionated. They want to know your opinions. So you should be very, very careful in the way you are going to take your stance. Obviously, everyone will take the same stance. I know we people are smart enough. In ethics also, if you write the case studies, 99% will tell the same thing only. If I give you, you will do this or this, everyone will tell this only. But the marks is not about taking the which is correct or which is wrong. Why do you take that? The why aspect matters. Here also, that is the same thing. Got it? All right. Customs and traditions suppress reason leading to obscurantism. Where does this come? Customs and traditions. What is this? Salient features of Indian society. Okay, next. How have digital initiatives in India contributed to the functioning of the education system in the country? Elaborate your answers. 2020, what had happened? COVID. During that, what came? Online education. That's why they're asking this. Understanding this. So what is this? Contemporary social issues. Okay, anyways. Tell me, first one. Second one. Very good. Both these two contemporary social issues. If you can practice, let us say 100 questions on these two, you will be well versed in Indian society. More or less. That's all you have to do. Okay, 100 questions if you have practiced on this, you can answer anything like they can ask. You understanding this? That is the trick. You would have developed that line of thought. And that is what we will do over the next 4 days of society. That's what we will be doing. But that is all is needed. I hope you understand that. Okay. Third one. Very good. Urbanization. Fourth is caste. Very good. Regionalism. Very good. Globalization is there. If you go, we went up to 2020. If you go from 2020 backwards also, communalism will also repeat. Okay, there is communalism that will also repeat. Yes, secularism is important. Very good. What is this? Tribes, yes. Women, if you want, you can definitely write a dimension on that. Women. One question has come. Okay. Population, you can add it in your notes, but I will not put it here. One question has come on that, so definitely you can add it. Okay. All right. That is there. What I will do, why am I not adding it here is I will not build depth on that. Yes, I will sit, I will prepare a notes on population and I will stop it there. I will again not start digging deeper. I hope you are understanding the difference between what I write here and what you have to study otherwise also. Okay. Obviously, you are going to do everything in the syllabus, but where you are going to build depth is this. Understanding the difference? That's what I told. Here, the first two issues only, more or less, most of the questions will come up. Okay. So this is good. Clear with this? So this is what we'll be dealing with. These are the 8 topics. Okay. And if you can do this, 175 marks is already done. Paper 1's 175 marks is over. And out of that 175, you should get 100. You should. No other way. The next part, whatever we go, there is no much sanity in it. The syllabus is vast, okay, but sanity is very less. The returns are very low. Okay, so the entire efforts of yours in GS1 should go to geography and society first, master them thoroughly, and then go to that. That is also, I am not telling don't neglect or don't study, go to that next. Okay, all right. So this is with respect to Indian society and Indian geography. So this is what I had put. Salient features, tribes, secularism, regionalism, communalism, women, globalization, caste, customs and traditions, urbanization. Overall, that is all we have got. Fine. Let us move to the next one, modern India. Okay, we'll move to the next one, modern India. We'll start. Okay. Try to the same pattern. Try to see if you can come up with one word about what it's talking about. Here it is very difficult to find the theme, but let us see if you can. Okay. How many questions will come? We'll discuss at the end. There is no exact way like geography. Okay. It keeps changing, but let us see. 2023. What was the difference between Mahatma Gandhiji and Rabindranath Tagore in their approach towards education and nationalism? Very good. Personalities. Okay, the first is personalities. Okay, second. How did the colonial rule affect the tribals in India and what was the tribal response to the colonial oppression? Where can you put this? Very good. Can you say revolts in that? Tribal revolts? Yes. Tribal revolts. Okay. Let us go to the next one. Previous year question of 2022. Why did the armies of the British East India Company, mostly comprising of Indian soldiers, win consistently against the more numerous and better equipped armies of the Indian rulers? Give reasons. Where will you put this? Read it again if you want. Come again? Okay. Is correct. British conquest of India. Okay, it comes before 1857. The British conquest of India. Okay, next. Why was there a sudden spurt in famines in colonial India since the mid 18th century? Give reasons. Mid 18th century means it is pre 1857 or post 1857? Pre 1857, pre 1857 revolts. I'm sorry, pre 1857 events. Don't say revolts. Pre 1857 events. This also can come pre 1857 only. Okay, the first part, this is also pre-1857. Okay, next. The political and administrative reorganization of the states and territories has been a continuous ongoing process since the mid-19th century. Discuss with examples. Post-independence consolidation. This is, yes, very true. This is post-independence reorganization. It has been a continuous process. So you have to go from mid-18th, 19th century towards our independence and post-independence also. Okay, very good. 2022, this actually I had to come in post-independence. It has somehow come off here. But anyways, you can add it as post-independence. Okay, I have to change this. Anyways, coming to this. Trace the rise and growth of socio-religious reform movements with special reference to Young Bengal and Brahmo Samaj. Socio-religious reform movements. Socio-religious reform movements. Okay, next. To what extent did the role of the moderates prepare a base for the wider freedom movement? Comment. Freedom movement. Yes, moderates to be more specific. Okay, freedom movement. Freedom movement means from 1857 you read the entire spectrum, no? Freedom movement, then there is pre-Congress, then there is Congress, early nationalists, Swadeshis, extremists. That is what is the freedom movement. Okay, next. Bring out the constructive program of Mahatma Gandhi during non-cooperation movement and civil disobedience movement. Yes? Gandhiji. Okay, Gandhiji itself is a theme. Okay, you should have prepared well on Gandhiji. Okay, next. 2020. Evaluate the policies of Lord Curzon and their long-term implications on the national movements. British policies, okay. Can I say Governor Generals? Okay, Governor Generals. Curzon, they've asked about Lord Dalhousie also once. Okay, next. Since the decade of the 1920s, the national movement acquired various ideological strands and thereby expanded its social base. Discuss. Very good. National movement in 1920s. National movement in 1920s. Okay. Overall, there is no theme here. Okay, you cannot, there is no theme. You cannot tell that I'll only prepare like this and go. There is no theme here. See, what is very, very important is British before 1857, you have to know very well. When I say British before 1857, don't think only the British. What happened before 1857? From the decline of Mughals to 1857, what are all the events that happened? That is very important. Okay, then comes the prelims overlapping topics. This is what is the freedom struggle. Whatever you have written out the freedom struggle, that is what is this. Prelims overlapping topics. Okay, for example, they have asked about moderates. Next time they can ask about extremists or revolutionaries or Home Rule League, or they can ask about the trade unions or communalism, socialism. You are understanding this? So they can ask anything in freedom struggle. So whatever you have studied for prelims, the same topics you have to read, but from mains perspective. I hope you are understanding this. Reading from prelims perspective is very different. Reading from mains perspective is very different. For example, let us say that you are reading Nehru's report. Okay, when you are reading Nehru's report from prelims perspective, obviously you are going to focus on what were all the recommendations of Nehru report. But if you are reading from mains perspective the same Nehru report, do you need all the recommendations? Yes or no? You don't need all the. So how are you going to read Nehru's report? Let us say they are asking about, talk about the significance of Nehru report. How are you going to read in spectrum or in any book that you have studied? Okay. See, keep this in your mind. In the entire modern India, whenever you are studying, if you want to study modern India from mains perspective, okay, if you want to study modern India from mains perspective, you take any event x as the variable. Okay, if you take this x as the variable, what, I'm sorry, first is why, what happened and what were the consequences. Okay, now I will change X to moderates. Okay, why did the moderates rise to power, or why did the moderates become the nationalistic figure? What were their contributions and what were their consequences on the overall freedom struggle? I hope you are understanding this. Let me remove moderates. I'll put Nehru report. If I put Nehru report, why did there come a circumstance for the creation of Nehru report? Okay, now next, what happened in Nehru's report? Third, what was the consequences of Nehru report? I'll remove Nehru report now. Quit India movement. What were the why did there start a movement called Quit India? What happened in Quit India movement and what were the further consequences of Quit India movement? I hope you are understanding. Peasant revolts. If you are reading about the peasant revolts, now what in prelims what will we do? We will talk about different peasant revolts. Okay, peasant revolts in South India, peasant revolts in West India, peasant revolts in East India. Here it's not required like that. Overall, if you take all the revolts, why were there peasant revolts? What was their grievances? What happened during the revolts? And what was the consequences? When you are explaining that, you just take 3-4 examples. That's all. That is more than enough. You take Mappila revolt, you take Bardoli Satyagraha as examples, but you don't go into Bardoli Satyagraha and read like prelims. Who was the personality in Bardoli Satyagraha? What was the reason in Bardoli Satyagraha? What was the final outcome of Bardoli? Don't go into the depth. I hope you are understanding how to read modern India from mains perspective. Take any variable, analyze the variable, why that variable came into the picture, what happened because of that variable, and what was the consequence in the broader picture of freedom struggle because of that variable. I hope you got this. This is how you prepare. So one, you make sure that you prepare the pre-1857 events. Sorry, the one is pre-1857 events. Okay, that is one. The second is make sure that everything that you studied for prelims, the same topic you study for mains, but for mains you study from this perspective. So this is one, more or less you will clear. Outside these two, the other topics that you will be doing is this socio-religious movement you have to do. Era of Gandhi. Gandhiji is very important. Then important leaders and their philosophy. When I say important leaders and their philosophy, don't create a list. Whenever you are reading the entire, see, they have asked only 2 times. One is they have asked you to compare Gandhiji and Subhash Chandra Bose, and they have asked you to compare Gandhiji and Rabindranath Tagore. They have not asked anything that you have not heard of. So basically, in mains, whenever they ask about important leaders, they'll ask you about some mainstream leader only. For example, Tilak, they have not yet asked. There are chances they can ask. Gopal Krishna Gokhale, they have not yet asked. There are chances that they can ask. You are understanding this? So the mainstream leaders who are there, Motilal Nehru, they have not asked. There are chances that they can ask. So mainstream leaders, only that you have to focus. Who are the mainstream leaders? So when you are reading that era of freedom struggle, whoever you see are very important. Vallabhbhai Patel, not yet asked, they can ask. Okay, whoever are mainstream leaders there, on them only you prepare. Don't prepare the exhaustive list. You know, there are textbooks that give you unnecessarily very large number of lists. Don't go for that. In mains, you don't have to dig deeper. Okay, so these are the themes for modern India. I hope it is clear. Pre-1857 events, freedom struggle from mains perspective. Outside that, social religious movement, Gandhiji, and important leaders. I hope it is clear. Okay, so this is modern India. Again, 2 or 3 questions can come. Okay, so if you take here it is 2, 3 and 13. If you take 2023 it is 2, 2 and 13. But if you take 2021 it is 3. So either they can ask you 3 questions or they can ask you 2 questions. Okay, so let us assume that there are 3 questions. Okay, 1 10 marker and 2 15 markers. Okay, so 40 marks. That is modern India. Clear up to this point? No doubts? Okay, geography, society, and modern India. How many marks are we done? 205 marks. Okay, we are done with how many? 175 plus 215? 215 marks. Okay, we are done with 215 marks. Let us move to the next one. The next is ancient, medieval and art and culture. Again, let us see if we can make out some type of a thematic or some trend. Because we have to understand, we have to get some pattern to read. Otherwise, there is no way of reading it. Right? Sir, I am writing exam in the next attempt. Is it worth full to join the course in this year? Obviously, I'll tell yes only. Okay, why will I tell no? But talking from the perspective, it is a static subject. Okay, it is not going to change. This year or next year, whatever you take, the subject will always remain the same. Okay, on that basis, yes, you can. Okay. Shall we start? All right, let's see. Don't write any thematics here. Just see where it falls under. Okay, because it is very difficult to understand the thematics. At the end, okay, let's do one thing. Try to write. Let us see. Try to write. Let us see. First one. Explain the role of geographical factors towards the development of ancient India. Tell me. No, try. There's nothing wrong. When we try, we will make mistakes. Then we will try to understand. What part of ancient India are they trying to ask here? Or are they asking the entire ancient India? If you take from Indus Valley civilization up to the reign of Harshavardhana is ancient India, correct? So, what part of ancient India are they asking, or are they asking the entire ancient India? They are indirect. Yeah. And obviously, they are asking the entire ancient India. So, basically, what you are going to talk is, what are the different geographical factors that led to the development of ancient India? Means, you have to talk the geographical factors in Indus Valley, geographical factors in Vedic society, geographical factors during Mahajanapadas, geographical factors during Magadhas, Mauryas, Guptas, Harshavardhana. You understanding this? So, overall, to answer this question, you need the knowledge of the entire ancient India. Okay, so that is what is the realization here. And so you need, write down timeline of ancient India. You need the understanding of the timeline of the entire ancient India. Okay, next. What are the main features of Vedic society and religion? Do you think some of the features are still prevailing in Indian society? Vedic society. Okay, Vedas or Vedic age. Vedic age. I'll come back to the timing and the length and everything at the end, Narendra. Okay. Next, what were the major technological changes introduced during the Sultanate period? How did these technological changes influence the Indian society? Sultanates, Delhi Sultanates. Okay, the next is Delhi Sultanates. Write down, you will understand the requirement for ancient medieval. If you write down, you will understand. Let's see. Next, how will you explain the medieval Indian temple sculptures represent the social life of these days? Okay, temple architecture. When? Temple architecture or temple sculpture? They are talking about the sculpture. They are not talking about the temple as such. Okay, sculptures during what time? So you need the knowledge of entire medieval or just one part of medieval? Okay, so timeline of medieval India. You need to know the timeline of medieval India. For example, what I am trying to tell is, how will you explain the medieval Indian temple if I remove sculptures, if I add paintings? I hope you are understanding. If I medieval Indian temple, paintings represent the social life, you should be able to write. So there also you need the entire knowledge of the medieval India. I hope you are getting this. Okay, next. Discuss the main contribution of Gupta period and Chola period to Indian heritage and culture. What can I add there? Yeah, obviously Guptas and Cholas they've asked. What is this? Famous dynasties. Okay, famous kingdoms or dynasties. Famous kingdoms or dynasties. One second, guys. Okay. The next is discuss the significance of the lion and bull figures in Indian mythology, art, and architecture. Discuss the significance of lion and bull figures in Indian mythology, art, and architecture. Yeah, why are you afraid? Tell. It's okay if you make a mistake. Yes. What is it? Huh? Sorry. I can't hear. Okay, but lions is used even in Indus Valley, no? Bull is used even in Indus Valley, no? So you cannot just tell. Yes. Sorry. Huh? Symbols. Okay, fair enough. What else? Reverence to animals. No, I want you to understand. Give me the theme. What can be the theme? Sculptures of? Where are they told? Ancient India. That example you are taking from ancient India, that is fine. But significance of animals in Indian mythology, art, and architecture. Okay. All right. What if I remove this and discuss the significance of Yakshinis, Yaksha and Yakshinis in Indian mythology, art, and architecture? Think. Religious? Okay. Fine. Fair enough. What? Religious figures. Fair enough. See, there is no correct answer or wrong answer. So don't be fearful. What she told is also correct. What he told is also correct. Okay. You can take as Indian symbols also. Okay. But when you take Indian symbols, Indian symbols becomes very, very specific. You can take architecture, art, paintings, as well as sculpture. Okay. Take the entire thing as thematics. Okay. Architecture, paintings, sculptures. In ancient or medieval, in the entire ancient and medieval? Is it only ancient or medieval, or in the entirety of ancient and medieval you have to know? In the entirety. Okay, in the entirety. What all? Architecture, paintings, sculptures. Okay. All right, next. Evaluate the nature of Bhakti literature and its contribution to Indian culture. Bhaktism. Okay, Bhaktism. Next. The rock cut architecture represents one of the most important sources of our knowledge of early Indian art and history. See, don't forget, the year is changing year. I have written the years here. So all these things do not belong to the same year. Okay. See, this is 2022, 22, 22, 21, 20, 20, 20. Okay. So I hope you are understanding this year. All right. The year changes here. 3 questions were asked in 2023. And understand this. Whenever they ask 3 questions here, if from modern India, how many questions will come? 2. Okay, whenever they ask 2 questions here, modern India, there will always be 3. Okay, so that is how they change. Anyways, coming back to this, the rock cut architecture represents one of the most important sources of our knowledge of Indian art and history. Tell me which theme it will come. You just wrote that theme. Yes. You have just written that, the same thing. Okay, Indian architecture, sculpture, painting. Pala period is the most significant phase in the history of Buddhism in India. Enumerate. Famous dynasties you want to write? Where Pala is really famous? You can write. Famous dynasties only you can write. Not an issue. But when you read the ancient India, did you emphasize as much as Palas as you emphasized on Mauryas and Guptas? No, right? Then why are they asking Palas only? Because that is the last place in India where Buddhism went. After Palas, Buddhism was ousted from India. Okay? So, according to me, which we will learn in the course when the course starts, according to me, how ancient India must be studied is, whenever you are studying the chronology of events in ancient India, from Indus Valley, whenever you are going in the chronology, in that chronology itself, you should understand what are the important events that have happened. For example, let us say from Indus Valley, as we keep going towards Mauryas, suddenly sculpture will peak. Why did sculpture peak? You should know. Okay. Now I am going again. Suddenly temple will peak. You should understand why temple is peaking. As you keep going, dancing will peak. I hope you are understanding this. So, when you are learning the timeline of ancient India, along with the timeline, you should also understand what were the climax events. Stupas peaked sometime. Terracotta terracotta, the use of terracotta peaked. So like that, when did the sculpture, when did temple, when did terracotta, when did Buddhism, when did Jainism? So when you understand the climax events and go, you will catch such questions. So Palas is a climax event because Buddhism peak, that's the last. After that there was decline of Buddhism, there was out of Buddhism. So like that, if you realize the climax events in the entire timeline of ancient India, and climax events of entire events in the medieval India, more or less you are done with medieval India. Okay. Anyways, coming back to this, you can write famous kingdoms. Obviously you can write, but truly it is not famous kingdom. It is a climax event. Okay. Now the reason why I will not tell climax event is people who don't attend the course will not understand what is this. So I don't want to confuse them. Overall, you can take it as famous kingdom itself. All right. Next. Indian philosophy and tradition played a significant role in conceiving and shaping the monuments and their heart in India. What is this? Architecture. Okay, architecture. The only thing is architecture you have to link it to Indian philosophy. Okay. Fine. We will see how later. Okay. Persian literary sources of medieval India reflect the spirit of the age. Comment. What is this? Huh? Literature. Okay. You can write, but see again, according to me, this is climax event. The reason why I am telling it's climax event is from 1100, that is the coming of Delhi Sultanates, okay, Persia will be declared as the official language of India. Up to the point of William Bentinck. William Bentinck comes, he changes the official language from Persia to English. So from the Delhi Sultanate period up to William Bentinck, the official language of India was Persian. So forget Britishers. During the time of Delhi Sultanate, Persian literature climax. Mughal times, Persian literature climax. That's why they are asking Persian literature. Why they should ask only Persian only then? They can ask Turkish literature, they can ask Urdu literature. When they ask, they will never ask like that. I hope you are understanding. See, they are asking Pala period is the most significant phase. They cannot remove Pala period and ask something else because climax happened there only. They are asking Persian literature. They cannot take and ask some Turkish literature. Then it becomes, there is no sense in asking like that. The reason why they are asking Persian literature only is because there was a climax event there. Persian literature reached its climax during that period. I hope you are understanding. So, the point I am trying to make is when you study the entire ancient India, when you study the entire medieval India, it is not only sufficient that you read the timeline properly, you understand the climax events also. I hope you are understanding that. So that is what is very, very important. All right. Let us see. Okay. Look at this. This is all I could come up with. Okay. The entire timeline of ancient medieval India from mains perspective. Okay. Important dynasties and rulers, philosophies, architecture and sculpture. Okay. But very, very important is when you are studying the entire timeline of ancient and medieval India from mains perspective, you study the climax events also. I hope you are understanding this. Studying the climax events is very, very important. When I say climax events, climax of temple architecture, climax of stupas, climax of cave architecture. Are you understanding this? Climax of philosophies, climax of Hinduism, climax of Sanskrit literature, climax of Buddhism, Jainism, Bhaktism. You can keep going. Climax of sculpture. Are you understanding this? So when you are reading the entire timeline, you should understand the climax events, and accordingly you have to prepare the notes. Okay? How the notes? The same way how I explained for modern India. Why, what, consequences. Okay, the same way. All right. So this is about ancient, medieval and art and culture. Clear with this? 2 or 3 questions. Okay, there can be 2 questions or 3 questions. So overall, modern India with ancient, medieval, art and culture together can be 5 questions. Okay. Clear with this? The last is this, post-independence and world history. If you take the last 6 years, okay, if you take the last 6 years, 3 questions have come. Okay. 2023, there was 1 question. 2021, there were 2 questions. 2022, no question. 21, no question. I mean, 21 there was. 22, 2019, there was no questions from post-independence and this thing, world history. All right. Let us see. One is bring out the socio-economic effects of introduction of railways in different countries of the world. Assess the main administrative and socio-cultural problems in the integration of Indian princely states. There arose a serious challenge to the democratic system between the 2 world wars anyways. Okay. Overall, you can assume and go that 1 question may come from both post-independence and world history. 1 question may come. Okay, that can be the assumption. Here, what I will do is, one for post-independence and world history, I am not going to waste the time. For world history, I am going to give you a PDF. Okay, what I have done on world history, that PDF will be shared with you. So you can read the PDF for world history. For post-independence, I will give you a list of topics for you to prepare the notes. Okay, so you can, using the topics, you can prepare the notes, that should be enough. Okay, here if I waste time, I am going to compromise on my time on the geography and society. So here I am not going to waste much time. Okay, world history, PDF will be provided. Post-independence, important topics will be given, notes should be prepared by you only. I am telling now itself. Okay, so this is how we will deal with post-independence, because 1 question will come, there is no point of wasting more time on this. Okay, but that doesn't mean I am telling you to outrightly quit. Read that PDF properly, make sure that you make the notes of whatever topics I give, that should more or less suffice. That is about the world history and post-independence. So what we will do here is, we will not skip, there is no theme here, there is nothing here. We will prepare a minimal topic in such a way that we have got something about everything. Okay, that is, I am not going to skip any topic, but you will have some notes made on all the topics. Okay, and if you can observe, the questions that they ask are pretty easy. Okay, they are very straightforward. So they are going to ask you easy questions if it comes. So you cannot quit it outrightly. I hope it is clear. Okay, so this is regarding this. Overall, this is how the structure is. Okay, this is what we saw. Geography 100, society 75, modern India 35, ancient medieval art and culture 40. If they ask 1 question from this, they will pull out from this itself. This history and this is how they will pull. They are not going to pull out from this. Okay, so 175 marks for sure will come from these 2 sections. The only thing they play around is here. If they remove from here, either they will remove from these 2, and both together they can ask you around 5 questions. Okay, 5 to 6 questions. What I am trying to tell is, if they ask 2 questions here and 3 questions here, 1 question they can ask from here. Okay, if they ask 3 questions here, 2 questions here, 1 question they can ask from here. Or if they ask you no question here, then it means 3 and 3, 6 questions. They'll keep playing around with whatever they want. But overall, this is how the structure is. Okay. Again, if you take the entire this thing, the question kind, as you can see, for example, GS3 you people have done. In GS3 agriculture, the questions are broad based. Food processing, the questions are broad based. Internal security, the question is broad based. Okay, but you take GS1, see all the questions will be very specific. Talk about Guptas, talk about the British, during the before the 1857. So the question will be very, very specific. All right, in every part, not only in one part. That is why it will seem like it is difficult. They are asking about, let us say they are talk about the significance of isthmus and straits in international trade. Are you seeing this? So when they ask, they are asking very, very specific in all the sections. Talk about the work from home and its impact on family relationship. They are not giving open-ended. Talk about work from home on Indian society. They are asking very, very specific. Okay. So every question will be specific, but your luck is every question is more or less static. Only in society you will have static plus the contemporary social issues that will come from current affairs. I hope you got this. Okay. Overall, this is it, guys. This is what is the orientation of the Bridge Course 2024. Okay. So, irrespective of this program, if you are going to approach GS1, this is how you have to approach. Okay. 60% of the marks out, that is, if you are aiming for 120 in GS1, 60% of 100 marks of geography should come from your one section itself. But overall, 175, you have to get 100. This is your entire goal. Okay. The next is 20 marks. Okay. You can get it from ancient medieval art and culture, modern India, plus post-independence, plus world history. You take everything together, you keep it as this. If it comes more, then it is your luck. That is okay. But here, as you saw the previous year questions, you saw how difficult they are. Okay, how there is randomness. There is too much randomness there. I will try to create, there is no randomness. There is actually some trend there, which we cannot reveal now. But overall, for a normal person to study that, there is a lot of randomness there. Okay, but geography and society, you have to do this. And it is possible. If you can practice 400 questions of geography and if you can practice around 200 questions of society, you are going to get this for sure. No one can stop you. This is the ideal strategy for GS1. And I have also made it clear how to prepare for geography, how to prepare for society thematically. Okay, you have to build depths on that and go. I hope it is clear. Okay. All right. So this is about the orientation. Tomorrow we will start off with Indian society. Okay. Initially we will discuss about the lines of thought, about the different dimensions, and then we will start discussing question and answers, and we'll start going in. Okay. So it will take, let's see how many days it takes. But overall, see, timings of the class, 2 people have requested me not to keep it 2 sessions. The reason is simple. One, people who are writing mains are telling that it is very close, so they cannot spend 6 hours because it will hurt their preparation. So they have asked me to keep 1 session. The second group of people are people who are appearing for KS exams, that is Karnataka Administrative Service exams, that is going to be coming very soon. So they have also requested, sir, 6 to 8 hour session will be very difficult. So one, there will be a 3 hour session. Second, the 3 hour session will be continuous, there is no break. Okay, 10:30 to 1:30 it will be. So what I thought, by taking 6 hours, I can finish it off in 8 to 10 days. But since we are taking 3 hours, we will drag it to 3 days extra. That should be okay. Okay, so it will take 12 to 13 days instead of finishing it 8 to 10 days. Is it okay? Okay, because I have to be fair for people who are writing mains. I can understand 40 more days left. I cannot ask them to sit for 8 hours or 6 hours. Okay, they have to revise, they have to write tests. So that is how it is going to be. So the classes will be from 10:30 to 1:30, no breaks. Okay, if we start, we will finish at 1:30. Okay, and continuous. There is no Sunday, Monday holiday and all. We will finish in one go. Okay, 13 days. My idea is 13 days we will be able to finish it. Okay, if we take 3 hours, it will go to 13 days. Otherwise, I would have finished it in 8 to 9 days. But it is okay. Is this fine? Okay, we'll start with society. Then we will continue with geography. That itself will take a substantial chunk. Then we will go to ancient medieval art and culture and modern India. We will do it in one complete flow. Okay. As I told you, world history and post-independence, obviously we will share the PDF as well as the topics so that you can take care of. Clear with this? All right. So this is how I have designed the class. If you people have any doubts regarding the preparation, mains, or your this course, you can ask me. Okay, online as well as you people. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Again, don't think silly doubt, that doubt, did doubt, anything. Up outside the scope of this, orientation also you can ask, not an issue. Yes. Okay. Okay. Regarding which paper are you asking? All right. So basically you want to know how to go about your preparation for those students who are writing for 2025. We will do this once I finish the course. Okay. For now, what you people can do, those who are not writing the mains but preparing for 2025, once you are done with the course, you finish your optionals. Okay. If your optionals are not done, you finish your optionals. Let us say your optionals are also done. Make sure that you revise GS-2, 3 and 4 and write test on that. Okay. Since your bridge course of other papers are already done, take up tests there, revise them, take the test and write it. Okay, that should be better. So by the time I finish 13 days, if you are not writing mains, either finish your optionals along with me or try to revise another GS papers, whatever is being done once, and write tests on them. When I say tests, it means very simple. Let us say 13 days are there. Okay, divide those 13 days as 4, 4 and 4. 4 3s are 12. So 4 days, finish GS2, write one test. Next 4 days, finish GS3, write one full length test. Next 4 days, finish GS4, write full length test. I hope you are understanding this. So that should be a viable study. So what happens, in 13 days, you will finish GS1 also. Along with that, you will revise your other bridge courses and you would have written a full length test also. Okay, that will be a much better strategy. Anything else? No doubts? Where? Like that, I mean, the problem is I cannot go into that depth because those faculties would have told you where it is, the scoring is much higher, correct? See, for example, I mean, that will change. I don't want to just try to tell you something that is different from what others have told. Okay. In that regard, please follow whatever your relevant faculties have told you in that paper. Okay. If I tell something different, then there will be a conflict of interest. So I don't want to get in there. Okay. I believe that they would have also done justice and told you which exactly is easy, which is difficult. So focus on those things. All right. But revise them. Okay. Keeping it like that is useless. Correct. Over a period of time. See, nothing can happen today only. Okay. If you are going to write in 2025, if you write every day 5 questions and go, imagine how many questions you are going to write. Create your own questions. See, you will have question banks. Go to secure questions. Inside website secure questions, they would have segregated subject wise only. So GS1 geography only, you will get 3 years ka questions. That is more than enough. That is one. Second is sit and develop your own. As I told you, resource potential of coastline of India. Remove that coastline. Play with the variables. Okay, this is the one thing you should have in your mind. When the subject is static, okay, you can play with the variables. Remove that variable, add one more variable. See how you can generate points. Remove that variable, add one more variable. See how you can generate points. If you do that, more or less you have got it. Okay. What else? I will tell you tomorrow. Keywords approach we will discuss tomorrow. What? You're in the course, no? Okay. You have attended my OGP classes. You have the notes, no? After that, you have that socio-economic geography keywords that I have told you. Idya? You don't have the PPT? You have not gone through it. You do one thing. You can take that PPT. Okay, there are a list of keywords. You can use those keywords to answer the questions. Okay? Exactly. The problem with geography is I cannot tell you read this book and you will be able to answer. Okay, that is the problem. There is no one book there. Okay? But what I can suggest is take that PPT, make a list of keywords, whatever is there in that PPT, and attempt the questions. Physical geography, my notes is enough. For the economic geography part, both India and the world, with the keywords you should be able to answer. Okay, more or less I've given the keywords with the PPT. You can take it from them. That should be enough. Attempt, try to write the answers with them. Okay. Yes. We will discuss that. Okay, once we are done with the entire course, then we will discuss on how to evaluate your answers. Okay. Correct. Correct. No. Mine, in my paper GS1, if you are writing means, you have to attempt geography only first. There is no doubt. Geography only first. Okay. That 10 marker first 50 first people will tell 1 and 2 you write, then go to 15 marker, finish the 15 marker, then come back and write. In my paper, no. In my paper, geography, because that is where you will get the marks. Everything should be very, very proper, specific. You should know that the moment you are written that 8 questions, you are going to get 60 marks. There is no doubt about it. So that attitude, I want you to go with geography. First is geography, second is society. After that, you do anything you want. Okay. Society and geography, 14 questions. 6 plus 8. 14 questions there only will be done. Okay. 6 plus 8. 5 is ancient, medieval, art and culture and modern India. 1 is post-independence and world history. Okay. So 8 plus 6 plus 5 plus 1. I hope you are understanding this. Okay. Yes. "13 classes are more than enough. You will get to know. Don't worry. Current Affairs Series 2025. I'm not sure when I'll start, Chetan. Let us see. Okay. Currently, I'm very busy. News in 30 minutes, right? We'll see how when I'll start. Yeah. Any other doubts? Clear with this? No doubts? You're okay how we are going to go? Okay. Tomorrow we'll start off with society. For the next 4 days, you will understand how simple the society questions are. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Online guys, if you have any doubts, I'll be here for 5 minutes. You can post the questions there itself. Thank you. Tomorrow I'll see at 10:30. Okay. Thank you, guys.